Mabuhay, this is Bob from Love Beyond the Sea. I'm not even sure exactly what I'm going to say here today, but I've been thinking about, outside pressures and keeping a marriage together. There was the old song, Love Will Keep Us Together. What was that? Back probably in the 70s, Captain and Tennille. And love is important. There are some, things that can interfere with your marriage from the outside, and there's some things from the outside that I think can actually help your marriage. Like, a man marries a woman from another country like I did, and there are people that are unhappy with your decision. Maybe family members are unhappy with your decision. They think you've lost your mind or something like that, and they're negative. But then there are people in the family that want to be positive and willing to give it a chance, and then see if it works out, and they'll support you. And I just kind of have this feeling that when you marry someone from another country, age gap, like Westerner, Filipina, there is a sense that there's some pressure from the outside, and I don't think it's a bad thing. I hope I can articulate this well. Please leave comments if you're catching my drift here. I just think that you don't want to go into it and say, well, I don't care what anybody thinks. Well, I guess if their advice is terrible, you don't have to listen to them. But I do think there is some outside pressure, where it's good to say, I want this to work out. I don't want people to point fingers later and say, aha, I told you so. So I do think it's important to want to do whatever it takes to keep that relationship together, make it work. It's an unusual one. And I'm aware of this kind of outside pressure. I mean, we had principal sponsors at the wedding. There's family, I'm sure, wants to see it work. I don't want to let any small family we have here down that, yeah, I made a rash, foolish decision and it didn't work out. I want it to work out. I want accountability, but I want to choose those people who I'm accountable to. For example, my pastor who was with me for many years before I got married, and then throughout my marriage to Isa, and we meet when we need to. I think that's a good idea for anybody, to let somebody in on the outside with your marriage that you can trust. Tell them how things are going. Make sure they talk you off the ledge when that happens. If you get out on the ledge, that you should feel a little bit of pressure from the outside with the marriage, really any marriage, maybe more so with a foreigner in Filipina, to make it work, to kind of justify what you're doing. And I just hope I'm saying this clearly, and I may not, but I had jotted down some thoughts about what will hold your marriage together with a Filipina. And you say, love. Well, love can be tested at times. And I guess my main gist of this video here is you are going to feel, if you're even just pursuing, especially marrying a woman from the Philippines, there's going to be a little bit of pressure, more than usual perhaps, to make sure that it works and to justify your decision. And this little pressure, I call it, I think can be seen as a good thing, a good pressure. Has anybody felt that did what I did and marry a woman from the Philippines? I mean, I kind of do. I mean, if we're ever having some struggles like all couples have, I don't want people to think, well, see, Bob was an idiot, he shouldn't have done that, because there's always going to be difficulties and challenges in any marriage. But with a Filipina, I think it's okay to be a little extra careful, that you want to do everything you possibly can for that marriage to work out, because you have gotten yourself into a situation where you still have cultural differences, maybe some language differences, maybe an age gap and so on, and distance, being away from home. Just maybe try extra hard to justify your decision. That kind of sounds bad. Hopefully you'll understand what I'm trying to say. A little extra pressure is good. People are watching you. Oh, boy, that was unusual. I wonder how that's going to turn out. Well, you don't have to have a good marriage to please anybody else, but there will be some external pressure, some eyes on you to see how it's going. And I think that's something you have to accept. Always encouraging you to find other people to involve in your life, open up about your relationship so that you can end up saying that, yeah, we worked through all of our problems. I'm taking this seriously. I'm getting the help I need to make sure we stay together. So let me know what you think about that, or if you think I'm not making any sense at all. It's kind of a hard topic when talk about in less than 10 minutes, especially 4 or 5 minutes. But here, focusing on the outside pressures to kind of justify your relationship, and just being aware of that. And I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing.